What's up, everybody? It's Jeff Bernard with Solve Systems, and this is the first video in the ClickUp API series. And so what we're going to go over is how to attach a document to ClickUp via the API. And so what this would help with is if you're integrating ClickUp with another program and you needed to upload a document and attach it to a task. So we'll look at the API documentation, and then we'll go through a practical how-to in Postman on how to upload the document and sort of what this could be extended out to. So let's go. So as part of the ClickUp documentation, which can be found in the description below, direct link to it, for this particular object on the API, is the create task attachment. So we have a few things going on here. As always, with almost every ClickUp API call, you're going to need a task ID. Anything related to tasks, you'll need the task ID. And so from a practical standpoint, within ClickUp, I will downsize this real quick and get a ClickUp instance going. Just have a boilerplate here. You'll have your task ID is always going to be right here. So it's going to be copy ID. And then if you copied a link from here, we can just paste it in the task up here. And you can see it's always going to be this. So it's going to be the end of the URL for the task. And so once we have a task ID, we can then look up the task. We can add things to it. But based on this API request, this would be the create attachment. And so there's a few things also going on here. If you want to reference a task by its custom task ID, then the value must be true. So you have the task ID, which ClickUp gives, and then you can have a custom task ID, which we would give it. So you can reference either or, and actually you have to have the task ID that ClickUp gives, because that is the only appropriate way to link it to the task in the database. But you can also have that custom task ID. You also need the team ID, so that'll tell ClickUp which team this task is in, and then you can add any sort of attachment, and we'll do that in Postman here shortly. So if you don't already know, there is a collection for ClickUp that you can fork into Postman, and you can use it and get set up very quickly. And so we'll look at that right now and bringing it over here. Okay, so we have all of our API endpoints here, which is very helpful that ClickUp did this for us. And then we would be able to, you're going to authorize your API calls at this step here by putting your key right here and then naming it right here. If you don't know how to use Postman in this way, I would suggest getting familiar with that because it can be very helpful. And then we have our authorization, which is inherited from the main top level of the folder, which we just talked about. And then we have the URL structure here. Out of the box, your task ID obviously will not be there. So we need to go get a task ID, and we'll do that now. So we're going to, again, be able to copy with these three ellipses up here, copy the ID, and into here we add, so it says no attachment supplied, right? So we put our task ID in here, and then we can select a just screenshot or a PDF or anything else. And we can see that it gave us a successful response, an OK200, and then it gives us back the CDN links for that piece of information. And so we can go in here, we can actually see at the top level that there is something appended to here. So we can see right here, it gave us the PNG. So that's a quick way to be able to add an attachment. And of course, whenever you are using this in a programming role in something like Power Automate or Logic Apps, which I use for company integrations, you would convert this into something like Base64 and then upload it, and then it would convert it into a PDF. You can push this into an API for invoice creation or any other PDF generator API, get back the response, upload this as a document to your task. So that is an explanation of the create task attachment endpoint in ClickUp. Stay tuned for more integrations for other endpoints. Have a good day.